Hi everybody, welcome back to another video on my channel. So today I have my grandmother in. This was a few weeks ago. She's actually due to come get her nails done soon, but I just got around to editing this. So I'm going to try something different where I put like little captions kind of underneath in the bottom corner of the video for what I'm doing and the products that I'm using, so that, I don't know, it's just something else to look at. Tell me if you like it or not. I mean, it's not that hard, but it does kind of take a little bit more time. So right now I'm just doing cuticle care. I gently pushed back the cuticles, which I forgot to show. I went in with an e-file bit to clean them, and now I'm just removing my grandmother's excess. I will say this again for the people who didn't watch my last video. However, I don't normally clip cuticles if I don't have to. It just seems to be that I have to for the people that that agree to be recorded. And I actually have some people who request it. So if they request it and I see they have a lot of excess cuticle, then I say fine. If there's a lot of stuff that would be in my way, say they have a spreading cuticle, until we can kind of train that cuticle not to spread anymore, then I will nip the excess, but I don't go too far back because I don't want to, cut anybody. But on the vast majority of people whose nails I do, I don't cut their cuticles because it's just not necessary and I don't want to take the chance of cutting someone. So next, I'm going in with just a 180 grit sanding band, and this is just to lightly remove the shine. And when I say I'm like tickling away the shine on this, I am like tickling away the shine. I am not, applying any kind of pressure on the nail. I'm not trying to take anything off. I have gotten pretty skilled with the e-file since I started doing nails, so I can get pretty close to removing almost everything with an e-file bit without, damaging the natural nail. So obviously my grandmother's natural nails are in very good health. They are extremely long. I mean, these are completely overlays of her natural nail. This isn't like a tip or a form or anything. And the time that she has had forms, they haven't really worked well for her. So yeah, I tuck right back into that cuticle. I make sure that I get all of the debris that is kind of stuck down onto the nail off of the cuticle. If I see any like spots of acrylic, like that little black spot right there, I'll kind of go over it to make it not be there anymore, just to file it off really quick. And I'm really just prepping the growth mainly, which is back towards the back of the nail. So I cleansed with Swipe, and now I am going in with 2 coats of protein bone from Young Nails on each nail. So I'll do all 10 fingers, and then I go back and repeat it again. So you get both hands at this point. This is a really important step. This protein bond is what's going to bond to the keratin of the nail and also bond to the product that you are adhering. Think of it as double-sided sticky tape. And you can skip primer, but it's going to be a problem. You're going to most likely have lifting issues, even if they're not much. Like, I'm prone to lifting on my own nails just because I do a lot with my hands. And, I'm working with them all the time. And I've noticed, like, I forgot to put, primer on one hand and I put primer on another. And the amount of lifting I had on one was significantly less, even though I still did get some. It wasn't so bad. Okay, so now I'm just refilling that thin, clear base since my grandmother does get acrylic redesigns every time. So I'm just taking a small bead of clear and I'm basically filling in that little bit back there that has grown out. And then once I pat it around the cuticle, I just kind of swipe it down. I don't really worry about getting this exactly back to the cuticle because I don't want it thick back there. I really just want this part to be very, very thin so I have something to put my color up on. But I still want it to be substantial enough that I'm not going to file through it when I redesign her the next time. So this thin clear base, really, it has a couple of big advantages. Refilling with this thin clear base, like I said, it's going to protect your natural nail from filing down the color. Now this is really only when you're using like glitters or like a really pigmented strong acrylic, and as you will see, I am not going to be using a pigmented strong acrylic, but I want to also make sure that her nail is going to bond really well to that acrylic, and it will bond the best to a clear acrylic because it doesn't have any pigment in it. So now I'm taking Young Nails Cover Pink, and I am going to basically put this on most of the nail, but I'm not going to concentrate it towards the cuticle area. I'm going to concentrate most of that color pink towards the tip of the nail and probably on the top half or the top 2/3 of the nail. I guess bottom 2/3. It depends on the way you're looking at it. I might put a very thin layer right there by the cuticle, but I'm not going to worry about building up any kind of coverage at the cuticle. I'm mostly going to worry about building up coverage on the tip of the nail because I don't want her natural nail to show through, because we are going to be applying glitter on every single nail. So that line where her free edge meets her nail bed is not going to show through the glitter. The Cover Pink is, you can use it as just your building powder. I often do. If I have people who are, coming to me with wanting gel polish, just, gel polish on top of acrylic, or even just like, French manicure with gel polish, I always use Cover Pink as my base. I think that it kind of acts as a foundation for your natural nail. You don't see it, and it's just a gorgeous color. It looks really great on everybody. So I really like using Cover Pink. I'm sorry that the angle changed. I'm not really sure what happened there. I think I got a phone call at this point, and my phone stopped recording, and then I didn't realize that it had zoomed out from what I was doing. So now you get, I guess, a better angle. You can kind of see me like going off to the side with my brush. So I'm going to do that on every nail. On that ring finger that I did a very, very thin layer of Cover Pink because that is going to be a full glitter nail, and I just want to have a little bit of a background for my glitter because the glitter that I'm going to be using is kind of iridescent, translucent, a little bit. It's a very light glitter. It's not like a very heavy saturated color. It's more like on the lines of Mylars and iridescent things. So I can safely say that Cover Pink can sometimes be kind of not a pain to work with in the fact that it's a bad product or a bad color. I love it very much. Like I said, I use it all the time. I'm actually running kind of low. I'm waiting on my order from Young Nails from the Black Friday sale because I ordered a bigger jar of it. It's difficult because sometimes it can be hard to get a full opacity with, and it can almost be a little bit transparent if you're not like building with it. It's not as pigmented as a colored acrylic because it can't be. It can't be as pigmented as a colored acrylic because that's not what it's meant to do. If it was as pigmented as a colored acrylic, then you wouldn't be able to build with it because those colored acrylics are really saturated in pigment, and since they have so much pigment in them, they aren't as strong as colors like Cover Pink that do have some pigment, but a smaller amount, or like clear that has no pigments, as I did mention before. So I just, like I said, I'm going to brush that back, and I'm going to really kind of focus it at the tip of the nail. And then after we are done with the Cover Pink part, then we are going to go in with the glitter, which is my personal favorite part. Alright, so now I realize that I was zoomed out, I am going to add my Aurora glitter from Kylie Weary. This is from her Disney Heroes and Villains collection. I used this glitter in a tutorial before, and it was kind of a similar tutorial to this. I feel like I used Cover Pink and I used this glitter, but I didn't use them in quite the same way, and they weren't almond nails, so I figured I would record it. I don't always want to, sometimes I do very similar looking nails, and I don't always want to do similar looking nails for you guys because I feel like it just might be too repetitive if I have like a whole bunch of nails that I use the same products for. But a lot of people whose nails I do kind of gravitate towards similar products. So the ring finger is a full glitter nail. And then every other nail is going to be a glitter fade up from the cuticle, which is why I did not concentrate a lot of that Cover Pink product back towards the cuticle because, first of all, I knew I wouldn't need it. I would want a heavier concentration of that glitter back there. And I also want it to be thin enough that I can cap that glitter without filing it all away, which is a struggle that I seem to always have. So when I pick up my glitter, I am using, first of all, I'm using my number 8 brush as normal. So my number 8 brush from Nail Career Education. It's my Susie brush. It's my favorite brush. And I just pick up a very small bead of clear. I use Speed Clear from Young Nails, but you can use any clear powder. And then I dip into that Aurora glitter. Now you could also take a very small bead of clear, brush it on the nail, and then pack on the glitter, which is, I will do that if I want a more condensed glitter placement, but for fades, I find it easier to dip into a clear and then dip into the glitter and then put it on the nail because then it kind of mixes and you can get a better dispersion. You can work a little faster. So you can get that fade to be perfect. So if you couldn't tell from the title, these are hybrid nails. And when I say hybrid nails, I don't mean hybrid gel. I don't mean poly gel. I mean that these are a hybrid nail because I'm using two different means of product, two different types of product to create the nail. So instead of encapsulating in clear acrylic, I'm going to encapsulate the glitter and really the whole nail, but I'm really focusing more on the glitter and not towards the middle of the nail where that fade is. I'm not really worried too much about the tip of the nail with Build Gel from Young Nails. So this is a hard gel. And I'm doing this for a few reasons. At first, when I started to do this with my grandmother, I did it because I knew that gel had amazing clarity. So I usually only work 2 nails at a time just before I go into the light. I work 2 nails at a time because the Build Gel is a thinner viscosity, so it's going to run. It's more likely to run onto the cuticles than, say, Clear Sculptor. So then I just put it in the light for a 90-second cure, like on the low heat mode. And then I just work on the other nails, and I'll do 2 more nails. So while one hand is in the light with her 2 nails, then I work on her other hand. So I'm not just sitting there and waiting. But as I was saying, I did choose to encapsulate in clear gel because my grandmother loves her nails shiny, and I was on the hunt for the top coat that was the absolute shiniest, and they still seemed to dull on her no matter what. And then once I got this Young Nails gel, I thought, well, if she wants her nails to be shiny, I feel like it would be best for me to just encapsulate it in clear gel because clear gel is often more clear than clear acrylic. You just can't beat the clarity of gel. So I did it for that reason. And then when she came back to me, and I can't tell if this is because of the clear gel or if it's just because her nails got used to the product. I've kind of talked about this in videos before where I feel like the nails are almost like they need time to adjust to a product. Like I mentioned that when I first started using Young Nails on people, I did have lifting on them. And even now, if people, aren't used to having nails, but my grandmother's had nails on for years, when I use a new product on them, they do experience some lifting more than I would like for a product that claims that it's, great at preventing lifting. But then after about 2 or 3 fills, they come back and they have no lifting whatsoever. And then I'm happy. But I couldn't tell if it was that, if it was just that like my technique had gotten better, or if something with the gel was better for my grandmother's nails. Something about maybe the gel on top of the acrylic and the glitter, since gel is non-porous, unlike acrylic, which is porous, the water wouldn't penetrate it and cause lifting that, water, she's in water every day. She cleans, she does dishes, that kind of stuff. She works with chemicals. She's a little harder on her nails. So I thought maybe the gel acted as a barrier as well as just being clear. So she came back with no lifting, long story short, after I had used this, and it was like absolutely no lifting. Very, very extremely, extremely minimal. So I just kept doing it. I just kept capping. I would do her design in acrylic and then cap it in clear gel. And she seems to like it, so it works well for her. And like I said, it keeps her nails really shiny even after. Normally she would wait about 2 weeks between redesigns, but now she waits about 3 weeks. So it just kind of depends on how busy I am. And you can see kind of down at the corner of the screen, just the clarity of that gel is absolutely beautiful. And with this glitter, it's so, so pretty. So pretty. This is not a very hard technique to do, and, you could do it on anybody. It doesn't matter. Gel and acrylic are very similar products chemically. They are pretty much made of the same things. So right now I'm just removing the dispersion layer with some swipe. The dispersion layer from the gel, it comes up, it rises from the bottom because there's oxygen present. So now I'm just going to go in and I'm going to refine her almond shape of her nails. She tends, excuse me, sorry, I just woke up not that long ago. She tends to like her almond nails kind of on the pointier side, and the people whose nails I do, that seems to kind of be the trend when I convert them to almond, because for the longest time my grandmother did oval nails, and that was way before I started YouTube. That was probably when I was back in high school. She did almond nails, and then I kind of talked her into, or she did oval nails, so not even like tapered. It was just like straight sidewalls and then like curved at the end. It was an oval. And then I kind of convinced her to do square, and she stuck with that for probably about 3 years. And then we tried this almond. So she really seems to like the almond. I think she likes that they make her nails look, or her fingers look longer, so without having as long of nails. And she can also handle them better because there's less surface area on the nail opposed to square. So I really wanted to try to get her into something tapered, and this is what I got her into. So now I'm just taking my flat top medium carbide bit. This one's from Melody Susie. I just got it on Amazon, so it's very accessible. Any flat top carbide bit would work. Really, with gel, you wouldn't need anything more coarse to finish file or to remove any kind of bulk, because gel is a good bit softer than acrylic to file. So I'm using my Chiara Sky e-file, and I'm likely using it on about a 10 or 11, but between 10 and 12 RPMs probably. I can't really remember because it was a while ago. I'm really just focusing on perfecting that apex and debulking the tip mostly, and I can tell that I filed away some of the gel that was encapsulating the tip, but because I put that big concentration of Cover Pink, I'm not really worried about that, and it will blend in, so it's not like you'll see a harsh line where the gel stopped and the acrylic started. So I just didn't want the nails to be super thick, which is they are a little thicker than I normally would have made them, just because of the nature of the Cover Pink powder and to get it to the pigmentation I wanted it to be at. So as you can see, the dust is a lot more fine. With gel, I definitely am wearing a mask because that fine dust can float up really, really easily and get into your lungs, and that's just a mess. You don't want that. And I mean, I wear a mask anytime I file, whether it's acrylic or gel or pretty much anything where I'm filing a lot of product off. So that is like product removal of enhancements, whether it's, gel polish or anything like that, because that dust is fine too. Or if I'm finished filing enhancements, or even if I'm hand filing, often enough I wear a mask. For the most part, honestly, at this point, we're just also used to wearing masks. I'll wear it the entire service and I won't even realize that I'm wearing it. Alright, so now I'm just kind of going in to smooth out any little imperfections with a 150 grit hand file. This is going to make the nail rough enough that the top coat is going to adhere really well to it. And I also like it because I can just kind of, I can smooth anything out, any little bits and bumps that I didn't get before, I can grab now and get rid of them and just clean up the sides if I have to. And you won't see the scratches, don't worry. I think that's one of the things that most people have a tendency to want to buff like a lot, and then you're not going to see the pretty glitters and your top coat's going to come off. So now I'm just cleansing nails with a manicure brush and some Young Nails Swipe. In case you aren't aware, I have a manicure brush and 2 files and cuticle pusher for every client that I have. I just keep them in little like pencil baggies, kind of just plastic baggies I got from Amazon. I'm now using 1 coat of Young Nails Protein Bond. This kind of melts the top layer of the product a little tiny bit, smooths it out a tiny bit, but it's also going to ensure that you don't have any chipping because it's going to adhere the top coat really well to the product, even though top coat sticks really well anyways to acrylic or gel or any kind of enhancement product, since, like I said, they all have a very similar chemical composition. They do adhere very well to each other. But that protein bond is just a safety net to make sure that it's not going to chip. And now I'm going to use Poochie's Nails No Wipe Top Coat, and I'm really going to just make that glitter come alive. This is my favorite part of doing nails. I love top coating, even if it's just like a gel polish. I feel like it looks so much better when you add a top coat. So I'm just top coating her nails. I'm doing a thin layer, but still a healthy amount because I don't want the gel. Poochie's Nails is a thinner viscosity top coat, so I don't want it to run into her cuticles or look weird or anything like that, or, bunch up on the sides before I can get it in the light. So I'm just doing a thin layer so that it's not going to move and that it'll not have any of the weird dusty things in it. So then I cure for 60 seconds, and here's the final result. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you like seeing me work on other people's nails down in the comments below. Be sure to put questions in the comments as well for my 500 subscriber Q&A video. Just put a red heart emoji, and I will see you next time. Bye.